told this guy, he basically pulled out a checkbook and says, I don't care how much it costs, save my son. And I'm like, that's the day I realized that you cannot buy another day. I don't care how much fucking money you have. You can't buy another day, man. So you make sure the days count, because you are trading the one bank account that's shrinking for the moments you create in that day. And so I went, I don't want to do this. And I was getting migraines and sick. I was on something called Fiornal, which is like old school migraine medication. And like, I was a mess. And somebody said, oh, you should try my chiropractor. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. Those guys are quacks. You're gonna break my neck. And I went, and I was like, fine. I went. He spent like an hour with me, like all kinds of things, right? And I felt so much better when I got off this table. Now I'm not going to sit here and poo-poo on any of them, but they get a little fanatical sometimes. So I'm like, hey, you guys get a little weird. But at the same time, it helped. And I went, there's more to this. So I got into sports med and PT, and I went, how can I help somebody while they're here instead of when they've been categorized as a catastrophe, right? And put them back together. How can I keep that from happening to the best of my ability? And I just went down the road on that.
One of the things I think is interesting, and you brought up this point, is that a lot of times when we talk about depression or attention deficit disorder, it's funny that these things are easily cured by Marine Corps boot camp. And
right?
I just, and I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be funny. When I was in Air Force Basic, and I'm again nowhere near as hard as Marine Corps boot camp. I will tell, or when I was in survival school and hadn't eaten in several days, and they were chasing me down and trying to beat my ass, I was not depressed. There was no feeling of depression, right? I promise you, if you had checked my testosterone serum during that period, it would have been through the roof. And also, I will tell you that a lot of the imbalance is a great book on this called Spark. I forgot who the author is, but he talks about how you can level out the levels of serotonin, norepinephrine, dopamine in your brain just by walking. Like Homo sapiens were created to walk long distances. And that's why what really, really smart people, when they say, oh, I have to go make a big decision, I need to go take a walk. That's the reason where that comes from. It's just interesting to me that a lot of the times the solution for these things is a physical boot camp, some stressful situation, Marine Corps boot camp. But the reason why I think it's a problem is because it's much easier when you put someone on Paxil to take them away from the nature that they came from. Like for me, obviously, you see Evolutionary Psychology, the book behind me.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. The thing is, I understand, when you understand where we come from, now I understand what the rules are and the components in the machine that I'm embodying for these 80, 90, 100 years. And I understand what my ancestors did, and I understand that all of my proclivities aided somehow in survival in the last 300,000 years. For those of you who don't know, your mammals are about 178 million years, hominids are about 3 million years, Homo sapiens about 300,000 years, and then the agricultural revolution about 11,700 years ago, the end of the last ice age. So from that standpoint, I understand whatever I do or enjoy, sugar, salt, fat, enjoy women with a certain hip to waist ratio, signs of beauty, the higher sexual selection, higher status, these things had to aid in survival in some case. So if I go back to that, then all of a sudden depression goes away. When I go back to that, all of a sudden, ADD goes away. That's one of these things that's really difficult. But in order to do that, what do I have to do? I have to recognize I'm a fucking hairless murder ape. And there's a lot of people that don't want to do that. They want to believe here's animals and then here's humans, and natural selection counts for everyone else, but it doesn't count for us.
We are the same.
We are the same. Exactly.
We're the fucking same.
And so when
I love that you said that, man. I love that you fucking said that, because that's how we're designed.
Yeah.
Right. Like I came up with 5 rules, and my entire life is governed by 5 rules. That's it. Like complexity kills everything. People get real complicated. Like you said, Paxil. I had a patient of mine. He came in one time. This guy, Dan, I probably just violated HIPAA in some way, but Dan came in. He was my patient for, holy shit, Michael, probably 5 years. And he's like sharp guy, like Wells Fargo, like moving up the chain, like hunting for like the CEO position, right? Like he wants it. And all of a sudden he had coffee down his shirt and his tie's all fucked up. And he goes, Trev, I don't know what's wrong with me. He goes, I'm like feeling clumsy. Like I'm really screwed up. And I go, well, that's not good. So I start checking, right, for brain lesions and things, like checking motor skills and everything. And I'm like, dude, you're way off. And I go through. So I, of course, triage, right? Don't look, when you hear hoofbeats, it's not zebras, it's horses, right? So I started looking for things. And it turns out he ran out of Paxil 5 days before that.
He's
5 days.
He's having withdrawals from Paxil.
Correct. And he was fucked. And I said, he was on Paxil for like 5-6 years. And I said, there's the problem. He goes, holy shit, I don't want to take that. I go, no. I go, it's the only time I'll say this. Get back on it. We need to strip you down slowly. Otherwise, you're messing with neurotransmitters, man. How long things stay in like gap junctions, right? And like all this, like this is, you don't fuck with your brain ever. And so I was like, and he cleared up instantly the second he got back on it. But that showed me the designer brain chemistry, right?
Yeah.
Like the Zoloft's, the Paxils, all this stuff that do that. And it scared the shit out of me even more because I went, you are like, you know how people get over like you don't catch depression. If you said, Trev, dude, I'm really, really depressed. And I don't think you would ever even say it anyway, but let's say you did. I'm not going to brush up against you and I'm going to piss off a bunch of people saying this. I can't catch it.
Right.
It's not a fucking virus. And people are like, it's real. People commit suicide. That's not what I'm saying. They aren't getting the help that actually will help them.
Yeah.
Like if you have any white space on your calendar, you are asking for problems. That's just a matter of fact. You want to get rid of most of the shit going on in your life, busy up your day with things that have a productivity end, right? They have some kind of end that is like finite. Like I did this, I accomplished this, put in something else. I did this, I accomplished this. That's why you feel better. You get these little dopamine hits.
So consider like this, again, I recommend the book Spark. If you have dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, oxytocin, there's several other neurochemicals. And so let's just say I take Paxil or I take Zoloft or I take, what's the other one? The big Prozac. So let's say I take one of those things. What I'm going to get is an increase in some of those positive neurochemicals, but not in a natural combination. I'm going to get where one of them is at 100% receptivity and the other ones are just not quite where they're supposed to be.
So the ratio's way off.
The ratios are wrong, and so I'm going to get an unnatural level. And it's going to be a short-term solution for whatever I'm dealing with bipolar disorder or whatever. And it's going to be a short-term solution. The point is that Charles Darwin, evolution has this normal or natural ability for your body to start firing that way through walking, through exercising. Because again, when you think about it, going back to your ancestors 50,000 years ago, which is the one who was going to be depressed? The one who went out and killed the meat to feed the starving tribe, or the one who stayed in the cave and didn't do anything? Of course, your body's not going to
overthink garbage, right?
Correct.
Like human default thinking is negative.
Yes.
Right. So if you change that, that's why when somebody goes, oh, dude, I have all these, like, I'm just really depressed or I'm really angry. I'm really like, do you understand you fucking control the things going through your head? Like, I really, like most people, like we have what, like 60,000 thoughts a day? That's not the problem. What's disconcerting is most people have the same thoughts today as they had yesterday. Yeah. And then they wonder why they feel like shit. Like, you keep thinking the dumb things. Like pop open a book, start doing something, get productive, challenge yourself. Like I get over things by doing a lot of little challenges. Like even a workout, I started doing this 100 workout thing where I do 100 reps. And so you get it because you train, but some people hear 100 reps, they go, oh, that's not that much. Fucking try it.
Yeah.
Brutal. So I do 100, and that's not the warm up, right? And I do 100 reps of whatever it is that I've put together in this system. And I was actually using myself as a guinea pig because somebody else, I do these 100-day challenges, right? With people just for fun. And I'm like, oh, fuck, 100 reps, 100 days. All right, I'll try it. Holy shit, Michael. Brutal. But at the same time, you know what I'm thinking about in the workout? I'm going to beat this thing and I'm coming out the other side. I wasn't thinking, I think I'm going to stop. I'm really feeling sad. I'm not really, this workout's making me feel less of a person. No, I'm looking at it going, dude, I'm going to murder this thing. Even if it's a struggle, because it's occupying a different section of my brain. And if you step on the gas and keep reinforcing, like you said, if you give that the right hit all the time, you're going to do it more. It's like an addiction in the right direction.
Yeah. And because of natural selection, you're going to get it in the right ratios.
Right.
The natural solution to this is the one that evolution gave you, as opposed to the one that Johnson & Johnson gives you. That's the point.
The right pharmacy, the better quality, right target organ, and available 24 hours a day.